Go ahead, get started now. Let's introduce
All
each
right.
other.
Good evening, everybody. I believe you can all hear and see me very clearly. So as I was saying earlier, I was I was trying to, confirm that everyone has been joining from the first day. That was day one, and then today is the final day of the Africa Real Estate Investment Training, and then Dr. Stephen Akintayo would be taking us today, as well as answering some of our questions, for the past few days that we have and the questions we have today. But before we go into that, I would like to hear from, everybody. What have you learned from the past few days, from the past 3 days of this real estate training? Can you just share with us the things you've gained, the knowledge you've, gained in the past 3 days? Might be, something that you learned, something new that you learned, a clarification you got, during the training, something you didn't know before that you got to, know during the course of the training. So who wants to go first? Please feel free to share, whatever you've learned so far. Mr. Peter, do you want to go first? Go ahead. No, you can type and you can unmute. You can unmute yourself and speak.
I've not been attending this particular class for the past 3 days, so I was just checking one of the groups, and I see there's a meeting coming up, so that was the reason why I joined. I don't even know this is the day 3 of the training.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I heard you clearly. You're welcome. This is the final day. Do you have anybody that's been joining from the first day? Do you have anybody that's been joining from day one?
Do you want to do a recap of day one, day two, maybe, since most people here just joined?
Okay, that's fine. Give me a moment. Okay, so for the first day, we looked into, some of the real estate terminologies, in Africa, most especially used in the real estate in Africa. And I'm going to do a compilation of that. I'm going to send it to those who are just joining us. I'm going to do that because there's a lot of keywords you need to know if you are, interested in investing in the real estate in Africa. Also, day two, we talked about how to identify high growth property markets before everyone else. We talk about, the fact that, if you want to invest in real estate in Africa, you have to make the right decision. And the right decision is, deciding the right location you want to use. And then, one of the things that make sure, you are investing, your investment is right, is that the goal of your investment is to invest where demand is growing, rather than buying where everyone else is buying, right? Also, that same day, which was day two, we talked about, how to finance your real estate investments without being rich, right? So we broke the myth or the misconception that you have to be extremely wealthy or, have a certain, figure, number of, figure in your bank account before you are able to invest in the real estate in Africa, right? Because real estate is not only for those with substantial capital, right? We discuss various financing options, including mortgages, developers payment plans, joint ventures, cooperative and private investors, different ways you can actually get funds to start your real estate investment, especially as a first-time, investor. Also, we also emphasize the importance of credibility, strategic partnerships, and responsible financial management, right? The key takeaway is that your knowledge, strategy, and credibility can open doors and opportunities, money cannot buy. So these are the things we talked about in the, in the past few days of the training. So if you're just joining us, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is the final day of the real estate investment training in the Africa region. So you can share this link. The link is on the group. Please, you can share it with your friends so that they can join as well. Today is the final day of this particular free training. So after this training, you have to pay, to learn the upgraded version, to learn the advanced, training. So if you have someone that is interested in investing in real estate or wants the knowledge, you can share the link with them. The link is on the group. So kindly share the link with your friends so that they can join this meeting as well.
Okay, maybe is this your first time anchoring event? So it seems to be a bit rigid. What's going on? And a lot of body didn't help you, just left you hanging dry. A lot of body. This is not fair. Speak up now, Mary. What's going on? This is your first time. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Mary.
Yeah. So I didn't get what you said, sir.
I said, is this your first time anchoring our events? Because you seems a bit dry.
Not really, sir.
So what's going on? It's not smooth. And like I said, everybody left you hanging and dry. Okay, you're welcome, everybody. Please put on your video. My class, I love people's video to be on. So Mary and I think Isaac were the ones who took us day 1, day 2, when it comes to real estate investment in Africa. So I'm going to start with the first question. How many of us can tell me at least 5 top cities with the highest return on investment in Africa? Anyone? Kindly list at least 5 cities that gives you the highest return on investment. You need to know these things, right? So you can't say you're doing real estate. Please, again, everybody put on your video. Okay, this training is free, and because it's free, does not mean that you don't respect it. You're putting on your video means you respect this event, you respect the facilitator, and then you take the class serious. I could see how some people are saying, well, they just jump into it, they just stomp into it. There's a reason why sometimes we don't do free events, right? People don't take it serious. We have hundreds of people who register for these events. They will show up when they feel like. Some show up unprepared, some will mute and not even put on their videos. That's why sometimes I don't like doing free events. People don't take it seriously. When you pay attention. When it costs you money, you will take it serious. Is Jamie streaming it now? Okay, is Jamie streaming this class? So I always insist on people putting on their video because it shows you are serious and you take this class extremely serious. That's how we know. Isaac, is Jamie streaming this class? This is not comedy because I don't know what's funny.
I'm still setting it up.
Sir,
Okay,
the
good.
5 cities in Africa, that is Nairobi, Kenya, Accra, Ghana, Johannesburg, South Africa, Lagos, Nigeria, and Cairo, Egypt.
Okay. Can you swear to God that you did not Google it or use AI to help you?
No,
Eh?
sir. No, sir.
Come on, even the way you are reading it, it's obvious that you are reading something.
No.
Hey, have mercy. Lord have mercy. The way you are reading it can't be from your head.
Sir,
You
so I
must have
was not.
copied
I was reading from my head, sir, but I checked it, sir. But I googled it. But I was reading from my head.
after you Google it. So you are rehearsing what you used to do when you are writing jam, right? It was obvious. It was obvious that you must have Googled it. I was too sure of that. But it's okay. Number one city with the highest return on investment in Africa is said to be Pretoria. Okay, it gives about 14.64% return on investment, followed by Johannesburg, gives 13.4%, followed by Durban, gives 11.4% rental yield. Cape Town gives 9.4%. Kigali, Rwanda gives between 8 to 12%. Kampala gives 7 to 12%. Ghana gives from 8 to 11%. Lagos gives 7.4%. Abuja gives 6 to 8%. Nairobi gives 7%. However, how many of you agree with me that this AI figure is not correct? Okay? As you and I know that those of you in Nigeria, your landlord has increased your rent by 100% without any data. You just woke up and said rent has increased everywhere and he increased it. Who knows what I'm talking about? Particularly in Nigeria, this can happen other places, but in Nigeria, your landlord wakes up one day and tells you your rent is double. And if you decide not to pay the rent, he cut off your light, he cut off your your water. In Nigeria, Nigeria is a funny country, to be honest. Violent force. Nothing in Nigeria is normal. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome. Kindly put on your video and welcome to this class. We're reviewing real estate investment in Africa, and I was just sharing return on investments when it comes to real estate. But note that what I've just shared is rental returns. So can I tell us when it comes to capital appreciation? Now that's why the day one class, if you please mute yourself, everybody should mute their audio. Yeah, we don't keep hearing it. I think Peter, your audio is not muted. You can mute your audio. I love that your video is on, but your audio needs to always be muted. I've helped you to mute it. It's important to know that what Peter said is about income. So we'll call it yield, meaning that how much is tenant paying. So my next question to all of us in this class, when it comes to capital appreciation, so let me again, what's the meaning of capital appreciation? You can type in the chat box. What is the meaning of capital appreciation? Anybody know what that means? In real estate, what is the meaning of capital appreciation in real estate? Remember to put on your, many of you are joining me, video is still off. The meaning of capital appreciation. You can either unmute and say it, or you drop it in the chat box. What is the meaning of when we say capital appreciation in real estate, what does it mean? Increase in the value of the piece of land. Mundi, thank you for that. Anybody else who want to try? The meaning of capital appreciation.
When there is
Anyone?
increase.
Mm-hmm.
Capital appreciation means when there is increase in the actual amount or actual price that we actually got the land or the property.
Perfect, Peter, you're correct. So anytime you have increase in the price that it costs to actually buy the land or the house, we say you have a capital appreciation. So now my next question is, based on capital appreciation, list 5 African cities with highest return on capital, with highest capital appreciation. Okay. 5 African cities. Anybody? I know many of you will Google it. That's fine. So
I can only answer one, sir.
Patrick Mundi says Douala. Yes, go ahead, Peter. What's yours?
So I'm only sure of one, sir. Nigeria, which is Lagos.
Yeah, you're right. You're right with Lagos. Absolutely right with Lagos. And I'm talking of top 5. Daniel says Rwanda. Rwanda. Remember again, we're talking of capital appreciation. And when we're talking about capital appreciation, we're talking about the increase in how much you bought it versus how much is going for now. So, yes, Lagos, one of them. Mute yourself again, Peter, please. Lagos is definitely one of them. Lagos is definitely one of them. Abuja is also one of them. So you're right. Somebody said Douala. Douala is in Cameroon. I honestly don't think so. So there's something very funny with real estate, right? Many of us are always very conscious of the location that we are based. So if you say, something, our mind just think of where we are currently based. So according to AI, okay, AI lists Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya as number 1. Okay. Lagos as number 2. Ghana, that's Accra, Ghana as number 3. Cairo, Egypt as number 4 in terms of capital appreciation. Rwanda, Kigali as number 5. Kampala, Uganda as number 6. Cape, South Africa as number 7. Abuja, Nigeria as number 8. Addis Ababa as Ethiopia number 9. Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire as number 10. Again, as an expert, I will tell you that this is not accurate in terms of the sequence. I would say Lagos, I will go for Lagos as number 1. If my own diary, I'll go for Abuja as number 2. I'll go for Accra, Ghana as number 3. I'll go for Nairobi, Kenya as number 4. Okay, in terms of capital appreciation. Again, that's my own analysis as an expert who has been in this business for a long, long time. But are you guys learning? I hope you guys are learning. Is this class helpful? Are we picking something as we're going along?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very, very helpful, sir.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. So let's go into today's class properly. I'm going to share my slide now, and you're going to be seeing my slide, and we will look into today's class as we go on. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, type I can see it. If you can see my screen, just type I can see it. Okay, beautiful.
And for thousands on the market flows, still petrified. There's someone gorgeous in my bed tonight. I'm still petrified. Outside, I'm just so sick of being. I'm just so sick of being. I'm just so sick of being.
Okay, so by the way, can the team get Ikena to share this link with all those in G&A, GTExt and Associates? I need all of them to join, as well as GTExt. Okay, what I'm sharing is very important, and I want them to join as well. Let me continue by emphasizing these facts, and I want to say this. One of the reasons why I showed the slide that I showed is because it's important to emphasize that if you're going to do well in real estate, you have to think of family. The next generation is important. Real estate is not just about this generation. Real estate does four critical things, and I always share this when I do my class. When you invest in real estate, there are four amazing opportunities for wealth. Number one opportunity is that in real estate, you are able to make money. Everybody type make money. You don't need to comment. You don't need to shout it, just type it, make money. So in real estate, you're able to make money, right? That's one of the advantages of real estate. Okay. Number two, real estate, you multiply money. Everybody type multiply money. Okay. You multiply money in real estate. Three, in real estate, you manage money. Number three, in real estate, you manage money. Number four, which I love the most, in real estate, you transfer money to the next generation. In real estate, you transfer the money to the next generation. And that's what makes real estate unique. So you have to begin to think of real estate, not just because of yourself, but because of the next generation. The family, the children, your grandchildren needs to be able to thank you even when you are long dead. They have to remember that they had a grandfather who had foresight. They had a grandfather who decided to take risk. They had a grandfather who secured their future. That is how real estate works. Okay, that's how real estate works. They had a grandfather who secured their future. And I honestly think that's how real estate works. So when you look at real estate, the world's next real estate frontier, understand the opportunity and why mentorship is the fastest route to success. And we're going to be looking at a few things here and see if we can also review where we started from. Okay, where did we start from with the real estate class? Remember, today is day 3, and those of you who maybe were not around when it started, you can go back and be part of the class. No problem about that. Just ask in the group what was discussed previously, and they will send it to you. Okay, so let's do a recap. What we have learned so far, we have learned identify high growth market. How do you identify the market with high growth? We have looked at that. We'll look at financing without being rich. So how do you finance? There are several options. You can get institutional investors. Once you can do a detailed breakdown that the real estate project is going to make money, you can get institutional investors. You can use cooperative. You can bring a team of people together and all of you putting money together, and you see how you can do the real estate deal. I want you to know that all of us who have ended up doing real estate, we're not rich people. We're not born from rich home. Anytime we say this, people don't always want to hear it, because some people have made up their mind that, oh, once you don't have money, you can't do real estate. So when you are trying to tell people that, no, 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 you can start. Once you have integrity, people can trust you. People know that if you make money from a deal, you will give everybody their share. And you have built a track record of doing it before. People will trust you with their money. And you. So the big picture, why now? Why do you need to expand, do real estate now? Urban expansion. Africa is entering one of the largest urban expansion cycle in modern history. So see this data. By the year 2050, we'll have 2.5 billion people in Africa, with over 60% of them living in urban areas. And for your information, majority of these people as well are going to be living in Nigeria. So Nigeria is playing a critical role in this urban boom that is about to happen. Okay, by the year 2050, some data has shown that 1 out of 11 people in the world will be in Nigeria. Doesn't that shock you? So those of you who are not Nigerian here, don't be angry. Patrick Mundi, where are you from?
From everywhere, sir. I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Cameroon, everywhere.
Who else here is not from Nigeria? Can I get all my people who are not from Nigeria to indicate? Let me see them. So I have Patrick Mundi, who is also claiming Nigeria. Who else? Who is not Nigeria? If you're not Nigerian, can you indicate?
From Cameroon.
Apologies. Cameroon, okay. That's who is that? What's your name? Okay, welcome. So all my African brothers, don't be angry, but I don't know how Nigerians are giving birth to children, so they're just expanding. So 1 out of 11 persons in the world is believed to be Nigerian by the year 2050. But that's not the issue. The issue is that the entire African continent will be 2.5 billion. So what does that mean? It means we'll be the largest continent, in the world, because China is slowing down. I don't know of India, but I'm sure younger Indians are not giving birth to children like their parents as well, right? So Africa population is still really, really bulging and growing. And what does that mean? These people need to live somewhere. They need to have a house. And the more the demand, the higher the prices of real estate. So what drives real estate prices? The demand is population growth. So I've seen people get angry about the prices of houses in Lagos. And sometimes I tell them, I say, it's just started. Lagos is going to get much, much more expensive. A lot of people can't understand it. It's not even making sense to them, but it's what it is. It's going to get even more expensive as by the day, and it's largely because the population is growing. More people want to live in urban centers. They want to live in the city center, and that is affecting population growth. Okay, so housing deficit, is over 80 million in Africa as we speak. The financing gap, believe it or not, the financing gap, in the real estate sector is $1.4 trillion. So these challenges represent one of the world's largest long-term investment opportunity, right? So you and I can take advantage of this opportunity and build wealth. Now, can somebody type, I will make money through real estate? Come on, I need your energy. Can somebody just type it? I will make money through real estate. So real estate, no matter how you look at it, is a guaranteed sure way to make money. There's just no two ways about it. There's money in that market. You cannot lose. One of the funny, shocking things for a lot of people is that the founder of Zenith Bank, Jimovia, which is one of the biggest banks, has decided to retire from banking into real estate. And he was boasting that real estate has more money than banking. So let's look at the Africa by numbers. 2.5 billion. Median age is 19. So young people, right? Housing deficit 50 million plus, over 80 million. Housing finance gap is $1.4 trillion. Urban population by the year 2050 will be about 1.4 to 1.5 billion people who will be living in urban centers. In fact, Nigeria is going to have about 8 cities that's going to be one of the largest in the world. So fastest urbanization region in the whole of the world is actually going to be Africa. So global investors increasingly view Africa as a real estate, as a demographic investment, not simply property market. So everybody doing real estate in Africa in a very, very different way. Except we, the Africans, we are not seeing ourselves that way. So watch this video.
Thinking beyond your first deal, Mentor can help you build lasting strategies. Mentor doesn't just focus on short-term wins. They help you develop a plan for sustainable, long-term success. Whether it's scaling your portfolio, transitioning into more complex investments, or building wealth over time, Mentor ensures you stay aligned with your big picture goals. Want to create a strategy for long-term success? Let's brainstorm in the comments.
Now, why that video was inserted is a simple, very important question. Now, we all agree there's money to be made in real estate. The question here is, how many of you have a real estate mentor? Because a mentor bridges the gap, a mentor shortens your school fees. That's just the honest truth. A mentor makes your school fees cheaper, right? I've done businesses before that, ladies and gentlemen, I lost over $1 million. The question I want to ask you is that, how many mentors in the world do you need to pay $1 million for them to mentor you? Are we learning there? So what is the lesson there? The lesson there is that it's much cheaper to have gone ahead and pay a mentor and prevent losing $1 million. How many of you have read Otedola's latest book, where he talked about, and it's a powerful book. And in this book, Otedola talked about something very powerful, right? He said that when he was to do one of his projects, he got a company and he paid them, anybody remember? Was it $20 million consulting fee for his power project? and that he had even made commitment for another power project. But when these people analyzed, they told him that no, that it is wisdom for him to go for Geregu, and they broke down the opportunities and why Geregu was better. And at the end of the day, Geregu Power became the best investment deal he did. Anybody remember that in the book? Has anybody read Otedola's book, Winning Big? Anyone? If you've read the book, type yes. If you have not, say no. Now, if you have not, assignment number 1, go get the book and read it. It's not Kuku my book, so you won't say I'm not getting commission from it. You need to start reading books by rich people, right? Some of you are reading books by Shakespeare. The man is long dead. He taught you fiction. No lady is excited about quoting Shakespeare anymore, right? So you need to start reading books by people who have made money if you are serious about making money. Okay, so what's the title of the book? It's called Making It Big by Otedola, right? Making It Big by Otedola, Femi Otedola. You will enjoy the book, right? And the way they wrote the book, it was so fun to read, and you're going to enjoy it. I recommend it to all of you. Now, this man had to pay about $20 million for consultants. That's also what consultants do. It's as good as mentorship. Okay, so if somebody paid that kind of money for consultants, but guess what? He recently sold the same Geregu for over $500 million, I think 600 and something million dollars. So who agrees with me that that was a good deal? I think his profit when he sold is over $200 million. Are we learning here? So if you're serious about growth, if you're serious about learning, it starts with getting mentors. And when it comes to mentorship, the only thing that stands your way of mentorship is greed. When you think that somebody should teach you about money, and so you should go ahead and make money and shouldn't pay them for teaching you about how to make money, you must be greedy. Right? Honestly, you must be greedy because you want them to teach you what has helped them to make money. But you're saying, no, they shouldn't charge you for it. And you're the greedy one. So there's power in mentorship. So let's continue the class. And it's important because there's no, even if I do 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour class, I cannot finish real estate. You still need someone to hold you by the hand to help you grow this business. So why Africa attracts investors? Long-term trends, opportunity demands, fastest growing population, rising urbanization, growing middle class, technology, infrastructure. So why is different from other regions, right? The developed world, unlike Europe, North America, and some part of Asia, is beginning to grow slow. Right? Africa had millions of new households every year. Africa expanding cities like Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, Kigali, Abidjan keeps expanding beyond their traditional boundaries, creating entirely new corridors. This is why you want to invest in Africa and you want to think of Africa when it comes to investment, right? Now, housing opportunity remains Africa's single largest real estate opportunity. Demand exceeds supplies across every major city. The greatest shortage is not luxury, it's affordable and middle income housing. That is the issue. Okay? However, there is still opportunity in the luxury market, right? But what is needed right now is the fact that most Africans don't have enough money for housing. So if you can go and meet a government and say, give me land, okay? Let me work on building the house and we'll make it a bit more affordable. Because if you're going to do affordable housing, you need government partnership. You as a private sector alone cannot build affordable housing. Okay? So you will need to partner with government if you want to do anything affordable. So let's look at structural factors widening the gap when it comes to housing. Rapid population growth, rising urban migration, limited mortgage financing, high construction costs, inefficient affordable housing supply. For developers and long-term investors, these challenges translate into sustained, durable demand. So I want to ask you a question, everybody here. There is money in every problem. Hence, anytime you see a problem, you must know that there's a money equivalent. The question is, how do you convert problem to money? What's the first step in converting a problem to money? Does anybody want to try? What should be the first step? I want to convert problem to money. What should be the first step? Does anybody want to try? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
What should be? Yes, go ahead.
The first step is finding a solution to the problem.
Finding a solution to the problem. Thank you for that. I think another word we want to use is called mental work. With all due respect, one of the problems we face in Africa is called mental laziness, right? And it's across board, even governments, middle class, elites. There is an element of mental laziness. People are just mentally lazy. So hence you say, there's problem there, let's not go there. But that's being mentally lazy. Because if you are mentally strong, you're just going to do what you got to do, right? But if you're mentally lazy, you just say, well, I see problem there, I don't want to even try it, I don't want to even go there. But that's not smart of you, because if you're going to be smart, you have to take seriously the opportunity that you're seeing and say, no. I will make sure that I take advantage of the opportunity that is coming my way, right? So I will go for it. And I want to encourage every one of you, overcome mental laziness. Anytime you see a problem, always remind yourself that Stephen said, in every problem, there's money in it. So let me go and mentally think of how this thing can bring money. And once you can think of it, you will make good money for yourself. So let's look at some of the opportunities in the real estate sector, right? Now we know the demand is there. Now we know the money is there. We know the problem. We know we need to solve it. So some of the areas, number one is called land banking and infrastructure. So the core value creation engine, right? So here you look for an empty land, we call it undeveloped land, but a place where they have planned to do airport, they plan to do seaport in future, infrastructure in future, but they've not done it. So you go buy the land there, okay? Then you provide infrastructure. You do internal road within that estate, you fence it, you provide water, you put everything while waiting for that project they want to do to come and meet you. So by the time the project that is coming to that area comes, everybody who is now moving to that area, they need modern housing. You have already gone to do it. You did it cheaper. You have the land, so they will buy the land, they will build the house. Some, they want to buy a house. You built the house years ago, probably when it was even cheaper, or you ask them to pay and you build the house for them and they move in there. So you create a whole ecosystem from land appreciation to infrastructure to population growth to housing demand to commercial development, because they also now need office spaces, restaurants. They will need all these are real estate. Why do I need to understand, in case you don't know? Real estate is the foundation for every economic activity. There's nothing we can do anywhere in the world to grow any economy without real estate. Hospital is real estate. Hotel is real estate, right? Name it, church is real estate. School is real estate. Every single thing we're doing is riding on real estate to survive, right? Real estate is the bedrock of every economic activity. So you can't go wrong with it. but the starting phase is called land banking. Everybody type land banking. Okay.